It's interesting how quickly we've ascribed to the idea that spirits do exist.
Yeah.
And I think because of that question that I asked, right? And that we do believe in one person. So
Yeah, that's a very profound way of like looking at anything really.
Right?
Yeah. But I do think that we have maybe a propensity to believe in something which is either uncommon, or something which is...
We as a society, or me and you? Okay, fine.
Me and you. We like to believe in something that is uncommon, but also something which is kind of grounded in the unseen.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And I do generally think, like, as a society, we have way too much focus on the tangible, and we don't have enough focus on the intangible and the essential quality of life. And I think that it's quite possible that there are, rare few people who do have a more
real grasp of the intangible.
Real connection to the intangible. And we've just been conditioned out of this this method of seeing things.
So that's really fascinating, because earlier we were discussing whether, not on the podcast, but we were saying if technology could ultimately lead to us finding God, but could technology ultimately lead to us finding spirits? Because there's a lot of technology out there that looks for certain levels of radiation or looks for a spirit.
Well, I think, I don't know. I definitely think, I guess spirit is probably maybe easier to see than God, right?
But it's weird that so many spirits are negative, or so many people view spirits in a negative way. But is that just because of Hollywood movies?
Yeah,
or
probably just because of movies. And I think there's if we have an idea of a spirit, there's because of the uncertainty and because of the sort of when somebody's in if somebody's in your house, right?
That you
don't know that they're there, not a spirit, just a normal person.
Oh, right, yeah.
Right? There is already a kind of, whether it's good or bad, it's a bad situation.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Because someone is in your space
when you just don't know about it. It's a sort of scary thing because there's that uncertainty. Yeah. So then if you just apply the same concept to the spirit, that somebody's in your space without you knowing about it, then it's negative in its
self.
It just feels negative because you're just unaware.
Yeah, but what if you're in the spirit space? What if the vice versa is true? What if you've intruded on the spirit space rather than the spirit intruding on your space?
The spirit intruding... Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
It doesn't take away from the feeling.
The way you see it is that it's your space.
Yeah.
We're arrogant enough. But the people I know who have had contact with spirits or who believe in spirit...
Had positive experiences.
Well, they're just most of the... Okay, sometimes maybe they grapple with the idea at first and it's a struggle. But I know... Yeah, but they just see it as just the thing that happens, just we see there's wind. We don't necessarily think of it in such a bad way.
But what's interesting to me is we discuss different cultures. A lot of people see spirits in a very similar way. Did all your friends, maybe initially they started describing it in one way, but by the end they were describing it in the same way that everyone else had seen it.
Yeah.
And is that a societal thing, or is that a rational thing, or is the spirits are all just showing themselves in the same way?
Well, maybe it's like dreams. You know how we have a dream about something.
Yeah.
And it's got this feeling and this energy and this essence and a certain kind of somewhat narrative to it. And so then when we wake up, we sort of build up that so it's a much more articulated, concise narrative, so that we can start conveying it to people, right?
So you think that's what's happening with this?
So maybe that's what's happening with spirits, that they see this kind of sort of formed energy, it's maybe a semi-formed energy bubble,
and then we rationalize.
In order to understand it, you kind of add some image to it, some form,
and add some context to it, right? Maybe it is my grandmother, or maybe it is this.
Yeah. And that maybe, I don't know, maybe you can see some energetic bubble and then have a sort of split second kind of reminiscence of your grandmother and then associate the two. Or you can see some see that it reflects her in some way, and then you start beginning to ascribe the aesthetic to that.
To make the intangible tangible, I think a lot of people have tried drugs, a lot of people have tried praying. How
does prayer make the intangible tangible?
I think, don't you think, I'm not thinking. I'm thinking of prayer in like repetitive chanting. You know, like a Buddhist monk, like repetitive chants for like days on end.
But you're talking about like manifesting the spirit,
Yeah,
like a spirit.
yeah, a spirit.
Okay.
Yeah. What are you talking about? The spirit that already exists in your vicinity.
What do you mean? Yeah. Wait, are you just talking about intangible and tangible outside of the idea of a spiritual form?
No, I'm talking about an intangible spirit being made tangible.
Yeah. Okay. And that's done through prayer, through chants.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You don't think You don't think trance would maybe make the intangible spirits appear in front of you?
Oh yeah. Some I don't know if it's the Buddhist chants.
Oh yeah.
I think there are. Yeah, there are to conjure the spirits.
Yeah.
There are definitely like things you can say to conjure spirits, and like a lot of witchcraft and occult sort of.
Yeah. Are you jealous of your friends that experience spirits?
No, not really. Like, part of me sort of sees them as like maybe more sensitive or more like aware.
More in touch with the universe? More connected?
And so there's sort of maybe somewhat admiration, but then I'm quite happy that I don't see that.
Yeah, because the amount of doubt that it would create in our universe would be insanity.
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
But there are a lot of people on the internet who are very, I've seen a spirit, I'm someone that should be revered, I'm someone that should be followed.
Well, I think a lot of people are just tortured by it. Oh, yeah, then there's the mediums that I can, like, access spirits.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Tell your grandma that, that they never liked oranges. All those sort of things.
Yeah.
But yeah. I actually dated this girl who told me, because she would tell me some spirit-based stuff, and I was not sure about all of it. And she told me,
But was this what was the context? Would you just be out at dinner and she'd be like, yeah, that spirit recommends the steak?
No.
Like, what's the context?
No. Spirits are all vegetarian. They never recommend the steak.
That's why we don't access spirits, because we're not vegetarian.
Yeah, true. Yeah, but like, I don't know. It's not only vegans who have
spiritual experiences.
Yeah. No, but she told me to cover my glass when I go to bed. Like, never have an open glass of water. And I said, why? And she said, I don't want to tell you because it's like, you'll think it's weird.
Wait, so you think... Wait, that's quite profound, because maybe evaporation isn't a thing. Maybe it's just spirits drinking your water.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Maybe evaporation...
That's the thing. So, but I think this is like... it sounds very ridiculous. What you're saying sounds very ridiculous because you're a ridiculous man. But, but I do think that the idea of calling... there's forces that we call it in science. We say like gravity.
Yeah.
Or evaporation. Well, I don't know if... But like something like gravity is...
You think that's just lots of spirits pushing down on you?
No, but
because that might be ridiculous.
No, because it's a force, right?
Yeah. Oh, you think the spirits are...
No, but it's not that far away. Like, it sounds very fundamental. We've just given it a very precise name. We've understood that it's to do with like a kind of electromagnetic core, like from the center of the earth, a pull. Right?
Yeah.
But when you talk about like spirits and stuff, you talk about a force. You talk about
a lot of the same words that we use.
Yeah,
right?
A lot of the same words that we use. And what's the difference between it? Like, gravity could just be a spirit, right? I mean, is that too? But see, this is the thing, because it sounds like a hyper scientific. But I think science is like, firstly, very dogmatic.
Yeah.
Just as much as like religion.
Yeah.
I don't know. But also...
you have to ascribe to a certain truth, right? And when you believe in science, as much as religion, right?
And science always proves itself within its own context.
Yeah, not within another context. Yeah?
It always uses science to prove science, which doesn't prove anything.
No.
But I think that...
This podcast is becoming very profound.
Okay, yeah, but maybe we're trying to go when we don't have anything... We think... we don't have anything wrong with... Well, I don't have anything wrong with science. Well, I do. No. I just don't think it's as holistic as... in terms of truth. We say that, everything, if it's proven by science, it's true.
We don't believe that.
Takes up, like, explains half of the universe.
Yeah. Well, even that, right?
Maybe. Also, I have this kind of theory of like a billion-sided shape. Science draws reality as a billion-sided shape, but reality is actually a circle. And so spirituality or God is the space between the billion-sided shape and the circle.
Right, and spirits lie in the billion-sided shape?
Well,
or
I don't
are
know.
they-
I don't know if spirits exist, but maybe they live in that space between those.
the billion-sided shape
Billion
and
side and the shape
and
and
the
the circle. But all I know is that there's a gap between these two, and I don't know what exactly is that gap, but it can't be filled with science.
Do you think if one
at
is
least how
do
it
you think if one is spiritual and one believes in God, they inherently believe in spirits?
Well, I mean, spiritual means you believe in some form of a spirit,
Right.
Right? Like at least
Yeah, but it's weird that we don't interpret spirits as God.
as God, yeah. And it's weird that to believe in God is somewhat normal.
Yeah, but to believe in spirits is
absurd.
somewhat yeah.
And God is just a really, really, really big
spirit, right?
Yeah.
He's just all of the spirits.
It's just all of the spirits.
Yeah.
But I guess there's quite an there is a very kind of like esoteric we take, I think, quite an esoteric, or at least I do take an esoteric concept of God, where like the notion of God as this all-powerful thing is like metaphorical perspective to talk about like an omnipresent energetic force that is the creative birth of all things. And I think when we start talking about spirits, it's a lot more like focused and finite, right?
Yeah, and it's focused on one person, isn't it, really? Like one spirit.
Yeah, one spirit. It's got like a very like defined edge.
Yeah.
Spirit. I guess that's the thing. It's got a very defined edge, but then in that within that edge is that end. Is it just like this ball of energy, or is it something with eyes and nose?
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know,
Yeah, but it's so weird that we want these spirits to look like us.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
think
same with God. Like when we
want
see
God to-
depictions of God,
it's very similar to
we're
us.
just like, yeah. Why would God have like the same like pancreas, like prone to pancreatic cancer? Like,
Yeah. Why would he have two kidneys but one liable to misfunction or dysfunction? Wow.
Yeah. So I do think but that is like one of the. So there's this great quote by Baruch Spinoza.
Oh wait,
I
this
love.
is like quite a good quote to end on. Actually, yeah. Okay, let's do this.
So.
Is it profound enough
We
to
don't
end
know
on?
the quote yet.
But I'm assuming it's quite profound.
Yeah. So it's basically he says.
Wait, who says this?
Spinoza.
Oh,
Jewish
okay.
philosopher.
Yeah.
So he basically said that if you were to ask a triangle to describe God, he would describe him as eminently triangular.
It goes back to exactly what you said about science.
Yeah, what did we say?
That it just defines itself in the context of science.
Of itself, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that's maybe more prone to religion, or this idea of God. We just see. We've got like such anthropocentrism and such arrogance that we consider the highest version of our being, either
To be us.
or like the highest thing to exist, even though it can't.
Yeah.
Even though we're so much below it, still looks the same as us.
Yeah. And even within the context of polytheism, every version of God is very similar to us. Or at least, like if it's a monkey, it's still like a version of us in terms of like evolution.
Yeah. And white people pray to white gods, and Indians pray to Indian gods.
Well, I mean, that's a different podcast.
That's a different podcast. Well, we'll catch you next time when we talk about the inter-spiritual racism of like occult religions.
But we were being serious. If you got any interactions with the spirits, drop us an email and we can shoot some footage together.
Yeah, or even better, get the spirit to email us.
Thank you.